Hello, this is Jose, and this is the Cinematic Dogma podcast. I'm joined for a very special edition by my culture, almost as if he were French friend, Blake.
And we're not recording in a swimming pool like we did a year ago,
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's true. I have forgotten
but
that
it's somewhat relevant.
because we're in person and we are talking about a swimming pool.
We are. So
What did we watch?
this week we watched the Jacques Deray film from 1969, The Swimming Pool, also known as La Piscine.
I didn't even think that it was going to be called the swimming pool. I only thought about La Piscine. But yeah, and this was your pick. Why? Why did you pick it?
This movie has been on my to-be watch list for a long time. It's never gotten to the top, but you and I both have a hard-on for the Criterion Collection as the say-all, end-all tastemaker of what cinema is.
Armageddon.
Amen. But they have on YouTube their Criterion Closet Picks, where they have filmmakers come in and they pick 4 or 5 films and talk about why they're important to them. I believe this was a pick by...
Tony Collette?
No, the Irish Christian... Not Christian Bale.
Christian
Cillian
Slater?
Murphy. Cillian Murphy was
Cillian
in there, and he
Murphy.
picked
Okay.
several films, and he
Yeah.
talked very lovingly about this one. And so I wrote it down as something you and I might want to watch together.
Yeah. I actually knew about this movie because they tend to play it from time to time at the Gene School. So I know that it's like a respected besides the Criterion Collection movie. And as this was your pick, I guess that I would have to summarize it.
Yes, please.
Okay, I don't have my phone in front of me. Well, I have it, but it's recording, so I'm going to have to improvise. So please help me, like, cover the
can do
potential
that.
gaps. This movie opens, I think that is in 1968 or 1969, I think, and it's like a couple. That is Jean Paul, and what is the name of the
Jean-Paul and Marianne.
and Marianne, that they are spending like summer months in a beautiful house with a giant swimming pool. We're not giving too much about them initially, and then they get a call from a friend from the past called Harry that he is friends with both of them, and he's going to be like visiting with a daughter that is strange. That is, they have been friends with him for many years, but neither of them knew that he had a daughter that is 18 years old. So Harry shows up the following day with Penelope, her daughter, and it's clear that there is some infatuation both from Harry towards Marianne,
Marianne, yep.
good, and from Jean Paul towards the young Penelope. So far, so good.
So far, so good, yes.
Okay. Harry mentions multiple times that, hey, why did you guys don't socialize or don't go somewhere else? They just don't. They're just happy being on the swimming pool. We get like some, I don't know, insight into their lives that Jean Paul used to be a writer and now he works in advertisement.
Yep, he abandoned his novel.
Yep.
Yep.
And Marianne, she used to be a journalist, but she hasn't written anything in a while.
Yep.
And Harry thinks that that Jean Paul may be pushing her out of publishing anything or distracting her from work.
Yeah. Harry feels that they're not good for each other. They're not good enough for each other.
Correct. A bit later, also Penelope just reinforced that is like, yes, my father talks about you, Jean Paul, quite often, and he doesn't like you, but he doesn't like most people, so don't take it personal.
Yeah, Penelope shares some, like, bombs, some emotional
Oh yeah,
bombs.
yeah. She doesn't talk too much, but it's like when she does, it's like she goes all in. One night, Henry like goes out and brings like 100 people with him back to this house that doesn't belong to Jean Paul or Marianne, to neither of them. That they are like just there because the owner is traveling to India or somewhere else.
Yeah, can you imagine? You and I just rented, like, a house with a pool together.
Yep.
And can you imagine if just somebody brought over a party and we were like, what?
Yeah, what is going on?
This is
That
our vacation home.
your husband goes to just take a drink and just come back. Like 100 people and a couple of old gents that they play guitar. So during the party, that is probably the most 60s party that I've seen in my life in any movie.
It's a good one.
Yeah. We see Jean Paul and Penelope getting a bit closer, like talking with each other and just like clearly having some, attraction to each other. Should I give the rest away? Because it's that there is a third act, there is like something that happens at the end of the second act.
Let's suffice it to say that the Harry and Marianne go off, and Jean-Paul and Penelope go off, and they come back together, and something happened, we think.
Yeah, but we are never told explicitly, but clearly like the dynamic changes, because Harry thinks that is a Jean-Paul actually had like sex with Penelope.
But we don't know.
We don't know. It's a bit of an insecurity. We also discovered that there was something between Harry and Marianne in the past, so Jean-Paul is also jealous of this guy is clear that still has feelings for her.
So I think we can leave the plot synopsis off that after this moment of like something may have happened.
Yeah.
And it just changes the mood of everything.
Yeah.
And it's just these characters dealing with these insecurities and doubts and suspicions. And
this movie is 55 years old. Am I allowed
I'm
to
trying
say
to.
what
We're
happens?
both trying to decide how. Just spoil it. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so when he comes back and after like this dynamic has changed, is that he says that I'm going to be like just leaving tomorrow and I'm taking my daughter with me. Of course, I'm not going to be like, leaving my 18-year daughter here. Next, he goes to visit some friend and he comes back in the middle of the night. Only Jean Paul is sitting by the swimming pool. Harry is completely drunk and tries to punch Jean Paul after a discussion.
Bastard.
Yeah, and when he falls into the swimming pool, Jean Paul just decides to drown him.
Help what was naturally happening
so,
anyway.
it's the kind of escalation, the kind of French escalation, and then the third act just turns into a fucking thriller about like, does Marianne knows if Jean Paul did it or not. Jean Paul tries to hide what he did. He changed the clothes. Then there is an inspector like trying to find if there was foul play or not. And that's it. I mean, it ends. I mean, I'm going to be like going for the end, but it ends like with Marianne like just acknowledging what happened and just going to be like just dumping Jean Paul. But at the end, is that they end up in this kind of toxic dynamic between them of just don't leave, stay with me.
Yeah, it's very like some truths are confirmed. We never do find out what happened that day on the beach.
With Penelope and Jean Paul.
But towards the end, Jean-Paul confesses, for instance, to Marianne. And she just kind of decides, I mean, she absolutely decides to keep it a secret.
Yeah.
But she decides to leave him, and then she doesn't, and it's all just very, like...
Yeah. She becomes an accomplice at that point, and I had the feeling that is definitely, like, the relationship between them is a very toxic one, and this is a lot of broken
doesn't
characters.
Necessarily mean toxic, though, because I was thinking, my husband and I have had this conversation a million times. If one of us were to kill someone, the other one would absolutely cover it up. Like, this is an agreement in our marriage.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is that when you are married, is that they cannot make the other party testify. So it's the kind of thing. It's like,
true.
well, it's like you can be an accomplice or not. It's like you cannot make you testify. So
yeah, I mean, I think that's a good synopsis. I mean, basically, it's starts out everything is sun-drenched and erotic and beautiful bodies and cigarettes, and then slowly it just becomes
the yellow
ruined.
sister like just like eating them apart, and then it's a thriller.
It reminded me of several films while I watched it. One we'll talk about by Luca Guadagnino, but the other film that just seemed like so obviously similar, if not an inspiration from, was Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Oh.
Which is just kind of a drunken, nightmare-fueled night of jealousy and unspoken emotional damage and...
Oh, yeah, no, I think that Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf is what that marriage between Jean Paul and Marianne could look like 20 years in the future.
Yeah, oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Is you guys are actually taking the step towards like, no, we're becoming toxic. And we're fine with that. It's like we are like building all of our relationship from this point onward on I murdered someone and you were okay with it. I murdered your previous lover and you were okay with it.
Marianne was not okay with it. She just put up with it.
She put up with it, but she decided to stay with him.
Yeah, I mean, I think this film lives up to the hype. I think the way
Yeah,
it was filmed is quite stunning. The way the pool
like
represents
reflecting. Yeah,
escape and joy and pleasure, and then little by little it becomes the place where quite literally
the
things went to
relationship died.
die.
Yeah,
I don't know. It felt smart. It felt
it felt so 60s.
very 60s. It
Extremely
was very
60s.
much in my wheelhouse of like the
Rich people being unhappy.
rich people behaving poorly.
Yeah,
Yeah. That being said, I think there's a lot to it. There's a lot of thinking. I thought a lot about what is going on, like what are the characters' motivations. It
yep,
is a psychological thriller,
yep.
but I think it's smart as fuck.
No, no, no. I agree with you. It's like everyone is great. There is no like someone that you would say that they're good because Penelope also is a bit twisted on her own. She's a bit of a bitch, you know, because like how she actually communicates with Jean Paul is definitely she wants something there, and she's going to be manipulating him. Is that you could even say that is that she's not really affected by the father dying, but also like the father was not in his life for most of her life.
Yeah, she kind of despised her dad
Yeah,
for the same reasons that Jean Paul despised him. He was overbearing and controlling and thought he was
yep.
better than her.
Yep,
And
yeah. Is that one thing that I like about this movie? I know yeah, we're already talking if we like it or not. I like it. It's for me it was a tad too long. It's like when actually they jump into the third act. It's like okay, I didn't see coming that this was going to be like turning into some kind of talented Mr. Ripley at this point. You know, at least he only killed one person, but it was a bit of a surprise, like an hour and a half into the movie, like that twist. You know.
I also liked it very much, very much. I think this is an excellent film. I agree with you that the last 15, 20 minutes, it felt like they kind of didn't know how they wanted to wrap things
Yeah,
up cleanly.
yeah.
It's not as elegant as the first three
Yeah, because I
quarters.
think that is the writer maybe more talented towards like this character study about like each one of them is like just broken in their slow or slightly ways. Like maybe Marianne has like some kind of dependency issue with Jean Paul. Jean Paul is a depressed person that is like dragging everyone down like with him. Penelope is someone that is basically kidnapped by a absent father, and Henry is a complete narcissistic that he wants like the world revolving around him. And I felt is that okay, this is like amazingly well written, and it's like I understand that there can be like this resolution of Jean Paul murdering Harry, but then those other 30 minutes, it felt like the writing is a bit weaker. This is not a Patricia Highsmith novel or a Alfred Hitchcock thriller.
I agree with you, but it also doesn't try to be, and I almost feel like it would benefit from trying to be if it was like, hey, we're going to smartly wrap this up as a murder we're all going to look past. Maybe it could have benefited.
But they did. At the end, is that they look past.
Yeah, but they didn't do it as well as.
Oh no, no,
Yeah.
no, no! I mean, I think that is a bit of a resolution of Penelope is not that affected about like losing her father.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to care at all.
No, because it's a bit more about like I discovered that this guy existed like a year ago, and I'm like traveling around Europe because he decided to. What the fuck?
And also, she doesn't say much, but she's not a dumb girl. She clearly knows that those two murdered her dad, and she's like, what? I think she's like just figuring out what she can get out of it, to be honest.
Yeah, and probably she's a bit more. It's like this is like a one less problem in my life. It's like I didn't know of this guy. It's like maybe I'm inheriting on something now.
I I really liked it. I don't know what else to say. I mean,
Yeah.
it's super smart. It's well that it's edited well, with the exception of the last 20 minutes for me.
Yeah.
Super interesting film.
Yeah, after the murder for me just became a bit of a drag, you know?
It became a what?
A drag. Because I wasn't expecting it, you know? So it was a bit of a surprise. I love, like, the first two acts. I really, really like them. I felt it's like, exactly as you said, it's like, this is like super smart. This feels like the good cinema from the late 60s and early 70s, you know? About like, it is about like the emotional, personal drama without going into the over dramatic, you know? It's exactly what you say. I also think about John Cassavetes, more about like a woman under the influence. That is this is like a very raw emotion without like getting so histrionic as a woman under the influence, but a bit more about like this is the characters that is like we throw like one destabilizing agent in the middle of this and let's see what happens.
Well, now I want to ask you the questions. We don't have to jump ahead, but I am curious to know whether you would watch this again.
Did you want to jump into the questions already?
We don't have to rush, but I'm very interested to
Let
know
me
that
just
question.
think. One thing that I didn't like was like that party so 60s, where they were like scenes that they were like just dancing like for 30 seconds
But
or
it
one
was the
minute.
60s.
It was the 60s, but just tell me, it's like which movies like from the last 30 years do that? And they're not good movies because I would say like The Matrix 2 or 3 when they're like in that rave party.
The one underground, like in the real
Yes.
world? Yeah, yeah.
Yes. It's a,
Ooh.
okay, dude. That's no. It's the same feeling. It's like the 60s used to do that. It used to be like a lot of that.
But it's not like the film goes over the top and like, this
Oh,
is the 60s. It was, in fact, that's kind of the only scene.
no, I think that they play a lot like with the hedonist nature of the 60s.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know?
They do, but it's not like, hey, this is the 60s. We're all wearing this fashion. I don't know.
Well,
It
when they
wasn't
actually
like,
go into the party, I was thinking, like, oh, that dress. Oh yeah, they're all fucking wearing that dress. That is like
yeah.
almost like a like crochet kind of thing, like
Oh, yeah.
white. That I thought it was oh, Penelope was wearing one of those, and it's like, oh, is that Penelope? Oh no, they're all wearing that. This is the '60s.
It was very, I mean, it's the t-shirt of the 60s
Yeah,
for
no, that's
women.
true. Yeah. And when like the two guys with the guitar out there, is that my boyfriend and I were just
Just
looking at each
sitting
other
off
and
to
it's
the
like,
side. I know. I
what
was
the
annoyed.
fuck is going
I was
on?
annoyed by that, and then also is when Jean-Paul kills Harry. Jean-Paul goes into the house to, do some careful planning to try and make this look like an accident. In that moment, he changes clothes, but it's like 4 a.m. He's just murdered someone, and he changes into like a perfect pair of jeans and a shirt that he's carefully tucked in. So then he comes out and starts undressing the body, and I'm like, yeah, there's priorities.
Yeah, sure, dude. It's like I don't know. That actually makes sense, and that's still like something that I'm still a bit surprised about. On the you murder someone, and your first thought is like, I'm going to make it pretend that he undressed completely. His clothes are clean, left in a chair, and then I jump into the swimming pool. It's like, dude, you could have said that it's like he just fell into the swimming pool and drowned.
Yeah, they
That was
could have
enough.
they could have hidden that murder much
Yeah,
easier.
yeah. It's like he made like things so complicated that it's like you were sober. There is no excuse for you for actually making this so complicated. So that's the part of it is like when you try to become a thriller because they were like
No, Jean-Paul was super drunk that night.
he actually drunk that night.
Yeah, he was drinking alone out of a bottle of Johnny
Oh
Walker
yeah,
when Harry comes
that's
home.
true. That's true. There's like he actually said that it's like, oh I just went back to drink and it's like, oh yeah, good for you. Yeah, but I just feel like that. Hey, is this something that is that you felt compelled because mystery novels were starting to take off? You know, like Agatha Christie, Patricia Highsmith. You know, was it like the kind of thing that you feel is oh let's just add this because it may not be enough with the first two acts?
Oh, Jean-Claude Carrier.
Are you checking like who wrote it?
Yeah, I realized I didn't know exactly who wrote it, and I would guess that, yes, it's probably based on a novel. I would guess.
Maybe.
But it was written by the same guy who was in The Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie.
Oh wow. Okay. Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, overall, I liked it quite a bit. You know, I was like really surprised. I think that it lives up to the fame of people picking it up in the closet, in the Criterion closet, or the Gene Siskel playing it every year. So yeah.
It's interesting. I think it was in 2020 or 2021, New York showed it at one of their theaters, and it was supposed to be there for 2 weeks, and it was like this completely unexpected hit, and it ran for 18 weeks in 2021 because it was so popular in New York.
Oh wow. Okay.
Interesting, right?
Yeah. No, visually it's amazing. Like how well crafted what you were saying about like just playing with the swimming pool. And I was telling you before we started recording, it made me think as so we was recently La Ciénaga. And La Ciénaga is a bit of everything is dirty. It's like this is actually something that used to be beautiful in the past, but now is completely covered in dirt. This is the other way around. That is like something clean and pristine and perfect, but it's actually hiding something a bit rotten below.
And also completely up for interpretation based on the people that are like looking at the swimming pool, like because it's all just projection, right? And most of the things are unsaid in this film. Almost everything is unsaid.
Yep. Everything is unsaid except when Penelope talks. Penelope is like a bit of the
Penelope
reading
just
the
drops
script.
those emotional bombs. Just she's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Harry hates you."
Yeah, you know, Harry used to fuck your girlfriend. Let me tell you. I think that she's still in love with her.
He thinks you have no talent.
You know, Penelope, you're a bitch. Okay, let's cover the questions. I think that this is enough of ripping the movie.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Jose, for La Piscine, the question I really want to know the answer to, would you watch it again?
I will watch it again, but not anytime soon. I think that this is like one of those movies that I need a year, at least.
All right. I would watch this again probably less than a year, but yeah, I would need 6 months.
Okay.
And I don't know if this is the right time to ask this, but your boyfriend had wanted to watch this for a long time, and you did watch it with him.
Yep.
What did he think?
He liked it.
Yeah?
He liked it. He didn't say that he's like, oh my god, this was incredible, but he liked it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that it's like the thing is, it's a weird movie. Is that third act, it throws off.
It's true. The third act is a little...
Yeah, regardless if it's like better or worse, it's like oh my god, it's like this feels like another movie, like stuck in here. So I think that it threw him like a bit off, and just left like, okay, it was good. I had a good time. Yeah.
So then, this is an interesting question. Would you recommend it?
This is a bit tricky. I would say that I would recommend it to people that they will appreciate. You're going to love this one, Antonioni. Someone like appreciate La Ventura or Blow Up.
I can see that. It's like a French...
Like
L'Avventura.
60s kind of, like social mirror kind of thing.
All right, so I put yes down for your answer. Weirdly, I think my answer to this is no, and it's not a reflection of how good the film is, more a reflection of the people I know. I don't know many people that would be
interested. I think that this is a
interested
reflection
in
that you should improve the people that you know. Honestly.
I mean, it's a really good film, but again, if somebody was like, hey, I want a film from the 60s,
Wouldn't you think about this?
I would think about the modern, the talented Mr. Ripley. I was like, oh, you should watch this film from the 90s.
Because it takes place in the 60s. No, I think, you know one movie that I think about this time, and I don't have my phone, so maybe I'm going to be like getting my food in my mouth, but I would think about The Servant. You remember that one?
Yeah, it kind of has that, like,
The social reflection.
yeah, kind of the bite to it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, I can
and
see
that's like the thing that is like this movie has a vibe. That's a really good word. That is like it's not like trying to hold back or trying to just play coy. It's like nope, everyone is not good in this movie. This is not a movie that you cheer for someone and you feel bad because someone else is like nope.
It's also not a film where, like, it's leading up to, will they get away with it, won't they? It's just, hey, regardless of whether they get arrested, everyone is just gross and they're sad they're gross now.
Yep. They were gross all along, but now they're showing it clearly.
Now they have to deal with it.
So when you say about I recommend it, and when you say, I think that is the problem is that the people that we may know, like the average people that we know, they tend to go, or the cinema nowadays doesn't have that bite. You know, it's that we talk about The Mastermind not too long ago, and The Mastermind has a tiny bit of that bite because the characters are not nice, but it doesn't play it as aggressive as this movie. It doesn't play as aggressive as Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf or A Woman Under the Influence.
Yeah, it's not a full-fledged confrontation.
Correct.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
that they play like a bit of a, yeah, things are not black or white, but they are very PG-friendly shades of grey.
It's like we're going to make you uncomfortable now. That's the bite.
Yeah, on this one, it's like you're
Yeah.
going to be uncomfortable. On those sort of ones, like The Mastermind, it's like you're going to be a tiny bit uncomfortable, but not too much.
And mostly judgy. You're going to despise this guy.
Yeah.
All right. So, Jose, will you remember this film?
I think I will, but just from the perspective of two people, hedonist by a pool, friend with daughter comes, everything goes to shit,
All right.
murder.
I'm going to put down a no, and the reason being is when I was watching this film, I was like, oh, this really reminds me of a Luca Guadagnino film starring Tilda Swinton that takes place at at a vacation home and there's a big pool and someone dies in it. I googled it. It's the same film. I had completely forgotten about that film, and so I'm guessing this is also gonna just go away.
Well, but you remember a lot about that movie from Luca Guadagnino.
But only once I had been reminded by the swimming pool.
Okay. No, that's fair.
In fact, my husband and I saw this Luca Guadagnino film, and I was like, "Remember we saw it?" He's like, "No." I was like, "No, we did." He's like, "No, we didn't." And I was like, "No, look, watch the trailer." He's like, "Oh yeah."
Is your husband like my boyfriend? Maybe I shouldn't say this recorded, but it's like that he will say like, "We never watched that movie" until I start like describing the whole plot, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we watched that movie."
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so you are going to remember I put down no for me. Do you think there's anything artistic about this?
Yeah. There is a lot artistic. It's like the cinematography is amazing. It's like it captures like that kind of lazy summer feeling of just nothing to do except just enjoying yourself by a swimming pool.
Yeah, I think every aspect of this film is artistic, from the performances, which are just
the acting is amazing. I didn't like Penelope at the beginning that much until I started interested. Like she's supposed to be an 18-year-old.
Yeah,
that she's a very awkward,
inconsequential human being.
Yep. And then she started like talking, started like just dishing it to everyone.
Is this a timeless piece?
I'm going to go with no.
Oh.
Not because of the topics in this house, because I think that jealousy and just lust, they're timeless topics, but the way that it was shot, it was extremely 60s.
I accept that explanation.
Yeah.
My answer is yes, but there are some things that are just so 60s. For instance, one of the ways the investigator realizes he probably wasn't murdered is because the watch wasn't waterproof and he was in the, and I was like...
Well, I mean, they also make like a big deal about like all of those things. That is like, we see a scene where he swims amazingly well. We see a scenes where he actually gives like the watch to someone else before going into the swimming pool, and then the investigator asks exactly those questions. That is a bit of a okay.
They had to explain it a little bit.
Yeah, it was a bit of a okay. The 60s tend to actually assume that the audience is smart, but at that point, they actually like just dropped the ball. They said like, no, the audience is going to be like pretty dumb because this is from a previous movie.
So, Jose, would you turn this into a TV show?
No. This only works as a single piece. There is no way of splitting this.
Yeah.
Especially with that murder, is that would make no sense, splitting it in two pieces.
I agree. It has to. It doesn't have to be, but I feel like this film works very well as. It is roughly 2 hours long, a little bit shorter than that.
Yeah.
But still, it's meant to be consumed in one piece, and I think any of the moments, any scenes that have emotional inertia, that inertia would just be taken away if you were doing like an episodic thing.
Yeah.
Now, on the opposite end, do you think this could be a short?
Ooh, I don't think so. I think that this movie has like, with that third act, if you want to keep it, I don't think that there is any way of making this less than an hour. There is no way. If it needed that, a different question, but with all of the elements that it just has in the 1 hour and 55 minutes runtime, I don't think that you can get all of those elements into 1 hour.
I agree. It's not like there's a lot of bloat in the film, but there are some things that could be cut down, in my opinion. Regardless, it would never be shorter than an hour.
But I even think like the part that are a bit more slow, let's say, is that those parts, they're good by themselves. Of saying that it's about building a vibe.
Yeah, and I do think it's a different type of filmmaking that we make less of now. It's kind of like you're just supposed to be there and experience the heat of the pool and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. That's the reason why I also thought about like La Ciénaga, because it also has a scenes of that style that they are like just sitting by the swimming pool.
They just want you to be in it.
Yep.
In it with the creepy family.
Yep. Hey.
All right. Could this movie have been better, Jose?
This is a tricky one for this movie because for me, I repeat myself a lot but the third act is freaking weird, and I think that it could have been a tiny bit better written, less heavy-handed. I don't know. Yeah.
I agree. I think the ending needed to be not cleaner, but handled a little bit differently, and that's the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, excellent film.
Yeah, I agree.
So that was it for the questions.
Are we going to score it?
We are going to score it. This was my pick.
So I had to score it first.
You have to score.
It has been a while since I had to score first. Okay, my score is going to be an 8.
An 8 for Jose. My score is an 8.5.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Not quite a La Ventura, but we're getting up there.
Okay. What year is La Ventura from?
It has to be also the 60s.
And most of the Bergman movies are from the 60s.
1960, so 9
Yep.
years before.
And most of the Bergman movies are from the 60s.
Because it was the best decade.
I can see that. I can see like some resonance in there. But yeah, no, if anyone is listening to us, is that I think that this is like an hour and 55 minutes well invested. Honestly,
Yep,
I wouldn't be like just put off by the third act. I would still go with the idea of it turns into a thriller, but it doesn't turn into a thriller like The Talented Mr. Ripley. There is a movie that I still love. It builds up to that. It doesn't feel like what the fuck. I'm watching a new movie now. It's a bit more abrupt, but still I think that is like really enjoyable.
Yeah, after the murder, the stakes are not life and death like in The Talented Mr. Ripley.
Correct.
Morally, it's about like having a soul or not having a soul. That's true, but it's a little bit less.
Fair. That's a really poetic way of putting it and accurate. I'm like, okay, yeah, we were terrible before. It's like, what is it change? But no, I recommend people to just watch it. If they have any curiosities, I think that this is like one of those movies that in New York they rediscover it in 2021. But if you don't live in New York, is that you can rediscover it. I think that we watch it in HBO. So,
Yeah, HBO.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. I feel like when I watched this, I was like, yep, this is just a solid classic.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. It's like if I see a list of my favorite 100 movies of all time and I see La Piscine, it's like, this person has taste.
Well,
Yeah?
Thank you, Cillian Murphy, for bringing this to my attention.
And thank you to everyone out there for putting up with us.
Until next time.
Bye.